Well, right, that most recent one was just a little while from where we are standing right now, just further down the road here near Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard and Fremont Avenue. And it's at that intersection where we did see blood on the sidewalk. And people that we were talking to out here tell us that people were standing on that sidewalk when all of a sudden gunshots rang out. And if you know anything about this area, it's an extremely busy intersection, even on a Sunday afternoon. In just 3 days, 3 more shootings are added to Portland's record high shooting count for this year. All of the weekend shootings were in extremely busy areas where even more people could have been hurt.
I'm feeling safe, or less safe, especially as a person of color in Portland right now, especially with what just happened across the street.
Linnaeus Bolin Gogby was at work on Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard when the nearby intersection became a crime scene. Witnesses didn't want to talk on camera, but say one person was shot on the sidewalk.
People are crying. I don't want to see that anymore. It feels very nerve-wracking. It makes me sad. I don't like that happening to anyone, and especially when we're in a city that's so passive about stuff like this.
These frustrations and fears were shared by neighbors of the other 2 shootings that occurred this weekend. 3 people were shot outside of a bar near Northeast Broadway and 14th around 2 o'clock this morning. While things appeared to be back to normal hours later, neighbors are calling for change.
I ask, please, that our city council and the other people who represent us become decisive and increase our police and increase detective work.
In Northwest Portland, 34-year-old Jacob Knight Vasquez was killed and 2 others were injured Friday morning. The community wants to see something done instead of just talking about what to do next.
Do we have police that could curb the gun violence? Like, literal question.
Out to Portland police several different times about the situation that unfolded right here behind us earlier today, but we have not heard back from them just yet. We wanted to find out what the injuries were and if there are any arrest information. As soon as we get that, we'll be sure to let you know. Well, right, according to Portland police, 3 people were shot out here on 14th and Broadway, and while thankfully they're all expected to survive their injuries, neighbors here are extremely nervous. There are so many bars and restaurants all up and down Broadway, and now they're starting to wonder whether it's safe to even go out. For the second time since Friday, a night out takes a tragic turn. Police were called to Northeast 14th and Broadway just after 2 in the morning today, after 2 women and a man were shot outside of a bar. Those who pulled the trigger were gone before police were called, leaving neighbors like Peggy Ellis concerned for their safety.
I feel like right now it's not safe. It's much less safe than it's been.
Ellis gets her coffee on 14th and Broadway every Sunday, but instead of enjoying a cup in peace today, she's frustrated, calling on the city to do more to keep people and neighborhoods safe.
I worry that with very limited police action right now, people who carry guns and people who do fight and people who may be members of gangs seem to have permission right now. I think that's why it's going so crazy and why our statistics are accelerating in a very negative way. Because not enough's being done to improve our laws and our numbers of people who can care for people.
Now, Portland police are asking for the public's help, not just in the shooting that happened in Northeast Portland early this morning, but also that shooting that happened outside of a bar early Friday morning. Tragically, 1 person died in that. You can find out more information about the shootings that happened this weekend on our website, KATU.com.
We are in Lake Oswego, which will remain in the 5th congressional district in Oregon, but it will look a lot different. So look at this map. It creates 4 reliably Democratic districts, 1 solid Republican district, and a final district that currently leans Democratic, but it may be more competitive in the future. House Speaker Tina Kotek addressed issues of fairness after the vote, saying that the maps were fair and Republicans had no right to be angry because they didn't engage in the process like they should have.
At the end of the day, it's our job to get this done. And we couldn't let obstructionism keep us from getting those maps completed.
National Republicans are weighing in. The RNC released a statement saying, quote, Democrats are disenfranchising thousands of voters and have proved to Oregonians that the only thing their party cares about is political power. They go on to say other political leaders should be urging, quote, Governor Kate Brown to veto this map. And we did reach out to local House Republicans for comment. We have not heard back yet.
And unfortunately, they know firsthand the impact of the coronavirus as kids go back to school. Here at Reynolds Middle School, they had to quarantine about 200 students last week because of potential exposure to COVID. And at the high school, they had to shut down for a week for that same reason. So they do offer vaccinations on site. But as we reached out to school districts in both Southwest Washington and here in Oregon, the results of that question were a little more mixed. Now, we reached out to about a dozen school districts, taking a look at your screen here. Portland, Reynolds, David Douglas, Hillsborough, and Tigard all offer vaccines on site, but that's it. Some of us told us that they were off-site clinics nearby, just like at Evergreen. And we spoke to Reynolds more about why they're offering the shot right on school grounds. They said it has to do with family comfort.
They've dropped their children off here. They may have gone here. And so it just makes it a little more comfortable for them. If they're, a little hesitant, it's like, oh, okay, we're going to go to the high school, get a shot. They see other families, attending and getting the shot. So that helps out really well, too.
And coming up at 6:30, we're going to have some more information, the resources available for families and students who perhaps go to a district that offers vaccinations on site. Also for kids who want to get a vaccine and what the rights are for them. Other things you need to know if your district does not offer vaccinations on site. Angelica, back to you.
Dan, this has obviously been a testy topic for many families in our area. So what is the district saying to parents who don't want their children to get vaccinated?
Well, they really wanted to stress, Angelica, that this is not a mandate. This is simply something that they want to offer on school grounds, so it's easier for parents and kids to get vaccinated. But of course, they say the science is on their side. And if you're on the fence about getting the vaccine, maybe talk to a physician or talk to those in your community. And they think a great way to do that is by getting the vaccine at a school.